Such a good boy.
Hi guys, welcome to my latest yoga video. Today I am going to be focusing on hamstring and quads. If anyone finds that their hamstrings are particularly tight, I know a lot of you do, this lesson should be really helpful hopefully for any runners out there. So yeah, let's see how you get on. A couple of things before we start. If you want to use props, and I would certainly recommend this if you have as a mobility issue with regards to straightening the legs, especially in like a forwards fold position. What I would definitely advise you to do is get something that you can use to help aid that stretch. Now, in my classes, as you will probably know if you've been to them, I love props. So yoga belt or a resistance band is what I would normally use in a class. If you don't have anything like that at home, a pair of tights, the best thing ever. Literally exactly like a resistance band. Ladies or gents, you never know, use a thick denier so you don't end up ripping them. But yeah, the thickest tights that you can find are probably the best ones. You're also going to need, well, you don't need to, but if you want to, another thing I would recommend is getting something that you can use as a block. We're going to be taking the hands down onto the block, so you want something a little bit sturdy. In my classes, I use these cork yoga blocks. Some of you at home may have foam yoga blocks, which is fine, just watch the wrist. If you don't have anything like that, a stack of books, or I've got sort of things like this, which I think is a box from a beautiful gift set that my lovely bestie bought me over Christmas. And this is great again to use to take the hands down onto the block through the class. Okay, go and get your equipment. That sounds weird. And I'll see you in a minute. Okay, once you've gone and got the props that you may need, we're going to start off down on our mat. Just lay down on your back. Place the hands facing down. We're bending the knees, and we're just going to start by rocking those knees from left to right. And then from here, we're going to hug the knees into the chest. Now we're going to take the knees apart. So take the knees as wide as you feel comfortable. Keep the lower back pressed down on your mat. We're going to keep the legs bent, and we're going to take the hands on top of the knees, and we're just going to gently start to rock back and forth. So rocking from side to side. And then maybe just drawing one knee in towards your chest at a time. Just be careful you don't roll over onto the side. We're just going to start to warm the body up. And then bring the legs together. We're going to move the legs away, so creating a nice right angle between the hips and the knees. Take the hands out to the side. If you don't have enough room to straighten your arms and place the palms facing down, go into cactus. So that's bending the arms and then turning the hands the other way, so palms are facing up. And we're going to gently rock those knees from left to right. Now, as you're rocking the legs from left to right, try and use the lower core to lift the legs back up. So that's why it's helpful to keep the knees away from you. The closer you bring the knees into you, you tend to find that lower core, you can't even control it. So we're moving the legs away, keeping that right angle between the legs, and then use that lower core. You can feel it really low down and working slightly into the lower obliques, lifting it up and swapping from left to right. Nice, and then hug the knees back into the chest, take the knees apart, and gently rocking from left to right again. And then from here, placing those feet back down onto your mat, taking the arms down the side of the body, palms are facing down. On an inhale, no pressure, so we're just gently lifting, don't thrust the hips up to the ceiling. We're just going to start by your lower back, so starting right at the tailbone. Start lifting the tailbone up off your mat, and then working all the way up the spine. We're lifting the hips, we're inhaling as we lift, and then we're exhaling, making our way all the way back down. Now working all the way down through the vertebrae, one at a time. Inhale, lifting that tailbone up, pushing those hips back up to the ceiling. Exhale down, keep going. Inhale, lift, squeeze the glutes as you lift. Exhale down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. 1 more. Inhale, lift. And exhale down. Bring those knees back into the chest. Take the knees apart. And again, gently rocking from left to right. And then from here, we're going to cross the ankles, keep the knees wide, and we're going to rock through the spine. So we're going to rock up into a seated position. We're not going to stay there. We're going to do this 5 times. And then on your 5th one, be careful. You're going to try and rock over onto your knees. I haven't got enough room. And then we're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So a tabletop position, we've got the knees stacked underneath the hips. We've got the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Now spread your fingers out onto the mat. We're going to inhale, cat-cow, looking forwards, lifting up through the tailbone, allow the tummy to drop down. Exhale, bringing the chin down to the chest, really tucking the tailbone under, pushing the shoulder blades up. Inhale, looking forwards. Now feeling that chest open. So really pushing forwards with that chest, looking up, lifting up through the tailbone. Exhale, rounding back through the body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round. And inhale back into a neutral spine position. We're going to tuck your toes under. I'm going to lift up into a downward facing dog. Now downward facing dog, if you've got tight hamstrings, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe feel free to bend the knees. Just try and keep your posture with the sort of hips upwards, but you can bend the knees, that's absolutely fine. So tuck those toes under. We're going to start hovering the knees up, and we're going to lift the tailbone up to the ceiling. Now I'm pushing the head towards my knees. I'm lifting up through the tailbone, and I've got a slight bend in the knees. Now with tight hamstrings, it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. We're going to just start pedaling those legs out. So thinking about an inverted V shape, so we're lifting up through the tailbone, and we're just bending into one leg at a time. We're going to find some stillness in your downward facing dog. We're going to lift up onto the tiptoes, and we're going to gently roll forwards into a plank position. We're going to inhale through the nose. As we exhale, drop the knees, untuck those toes, and we're going to keep the elbows close to the body. We're going to come all the way down to the mat. We're going to inhale, lifting up into a cobra. Exhale, down. Tuck those toes under. And we're going to make our way up into tabletop, lifting the knees, making your way back up into a downward facing dog. And again, pedaling those legs out. My feet are making a very odd noise on my mat. I don't know why. Okay, we're going to inhale. We're going to lift that right leg up to the ceiling. We're going to flex your foot, so pushing the heel to the back of the room. Look towards the hands as we exhale. We're going to step that right foot as close to the hands as we can go. Bring the left leg to join it, and then on an inhale, we're coming all the way up into a standing position. Take the arms up overhead. We're going to exhale, bringing them down through heart center. And again, inhale, lift, looking up to the hands. As you exhale, take them apart, coming all the way down into a forwards fold. So taking the hands down towards either the shins, the feet, or the floor. You can soften the knees, that's absolutely fine. Maybe shaking out the head. And we're going to try and push the weight forward into the balls of the feet rather than into your ankles. So we're relaxing the head down. We're going to take the hands towards the knees. We're going to inhale, looking forwards, and then exhale back into an Uttanasana, a forwards fold position. We're going to place the hands down, so soften the knees. We're going to step back with your left leg, step back with your right into plank. We're going to inhale through the nose, and as we exhale, drop the knees, drop the chest. Inhale, lifting into cobra. Exhale down, tuck those toes under, make your way back into a downward facing dog, pedaling those legs out. We're going to inhale, lifting the left leg up. Flex that foot, push the heel to the back. As we exhale, looking towards the hands, step that left leg through, bring the right leg to join it, and on an inhale, coming all the way up into a standing position, taking the arms all the way up. Exhale down through heart center, and again, inhale, lift. As we exhale, take those arms wide, all the way back down into a forwards fold. We're going to inhale, take the hands to the knees, looking towards me. Exhale, back into a forwards fold, maybe even shaking the head out. From here, we're going to step back with your right foot. Step back with your left foot into plank. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, drop the knees. Tuck those elbows close into the body. We're going to inhale, lifting up into your cobra. Exhale down. And we're going to make our way back into tabletop. So coming back into a hands and knees position. Hands stacked underneath those shoulders, knees stacked underneath those hips. So we're back into your tabletop position. From here, what I want you to do is we're going to take that right leg out behind you. We're going to flex that foot, so pushing the heel to the back of the room. We're going to inhale through the nose. As we exhale, bringing that knee in towards the chest, or you can drop the head down. Inhale, straightening that right leg back out behind you. Flex the foot. Exhale through. Inhale, straighten. Flex that foot. Exhale through. Inhale, straighten. And exhale through. Now we're going to keep that right leg bent for a minute, hovering the right knee up off that mat. We're going to inhale this time, pushing that right heel up to the ceiling. We're going to look forwards, allow the tummy to drop down. Exhale, bringing it into the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round. Still hovering that right knee up off your mat. We're going to inhale, take that right knee out to the right hand side. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. As you're doing this, make sure that your weight doesn't collapse into the left knee, left hand. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. One more. Inhale, lift. Now the option here is to flex that right foot and maybe try and straighten the right leg out to the right hand side. Gently bend and place that knee back down onto your mat. Take the knees apart, so take the knees to the width of your mat, bring your big toes together, and we're going to sit back down onto the heels into your child pose, reaching forwards, take the forehead down and lifting up onto the fingertips. If the forehead is in contact with the mat, gently rocking the head from left to right. And then let's swap sides, placing those hands flat, making your way back up into a tabletop. So bringing those knees a little bit closer together. We're going to take that left leg out behind you, flexing that left foot. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, bringing that left knee in towards the chest. Inhale, straighten that left leg, flex the foot, push the heel to the back of the room. Exhale through. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Exhale through. Inhale, straighten. Now keeping that left knee bent, we're going to inhale, pushing that left foot up, looking forwards. Exhale, bringing that left knee in towards the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale through. Inhale, lift. And exhale through. Staying with that left knee, hovering that left knee up off the mat. I'm going to take the left knee out to the left hand side. So inhale, take the left knee out. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale, lift. Flex that foot. Oh no. And the option is to kick that leg out to the side. Watch you don't push that weight over onto the right hand. I don't have enough room to take my leg out to the side. And then place that left knee back down onto your mat. And then gently rocking the hips from left to right. Nice, everybody. Okay, from here, staying in your tabletop position, we're going to tuck those toes under and we're going to lift up into a downward facing dog again. Now from here, we're going to start pedaling the legs out, but we're going to take very, very small steps in towards the hands. Now soften the knees if you need to. We're just walking the feet in as far as you can. Once you can't go any further, we're going to soften the knees, allow the head to drop down towards the knees. And we're going to inhale, coming all the way back up into a standing position nice and slowly, taking the hands up overhead. Exhale down to your heart center. And again, inhale, lift. As we exhale, take those arms wide. We're going to go all the way back into an Uttanasana, forwards fold. Take the hands to the knees or shins. Inhale, looking forwards. And exhale, taking them back. And again, nice and slowly, small steps. We're just going to walk back to a downward facing dog. And then pedaling those legs out again. On your next inhale, we're going to lift that right leg up to the ceiling. We're going to exhale, bending that right knee. So we're hugging this right heel towards your left glute. Now be careful you don't push your weight over onto that left hand. We're pushing equally through the hands. We're pushing the head to that left leg. We're going to inhale, straighten that right leg as we exhale, stepping that right foot down in between the hands. We're going to inhale, lifting up into a high lunge. We've got that right knee stacked over that right foot. And we're going to exhale, bringing it down through heart center. We're going to inhale, lift. As we exhale, we're going to tilt the body forward. So thinking about a nice straight line all the way down through those arms, down through the back, and then all the way down that left leg to the left heel. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into a high lunge. We're going to exhale, taking it into warrior two. So we're dropping that left heel down, taking the right hand forward, and that right knee is coming towards the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn around so it actually makes a little bit more sense. So that right knee is driving forwards. We've got the knee stacked over the foot and we're looking towards the hands, the right fingertips. We're going to inhale through the nose. As we exhale, flip the palms, straighten that right leg, take the arms up and inhale back into warrior two. Exhale back up into triangle. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale, down. Nice. As we exhale, cartwheeling those hands down, framing that right foot. Now keep that left hand down. We're up off your left heel, that back foot. We're going to inhale, taking that right arm up to the ceiling. Exhale down. We're going to step back into downward facing dog. And we're going to swap sides. We're going to inhale, lifting that left leg up to the ceiling this time. As we exhale, bending that knee into split dog. So we're encouraging that left heel towards the right glute. And we're pushing equally through the arms. If it doesn't feel comfortable to keep that right leg straight, feel free again to keep that little bend in that knee. That's absolutely fine. We're just working on that left quad for now. We're going to inhale, straighten that left leg, looking towards the hands. As we exhale, step that left foot through. We're going to inhale, lifting up into a high lunge. We're going to exhale, bringing it down through heart center. We're going to inhale, lift. And as we exhale, tilting the body forwards. Now keep that left knee stacked over the left foot. Keep breathing. And we're holding this position. Nice straight line down through the body to that right heel. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into a high lunge. As we exhale, taking the right heel down, left hand forwards, and back into your warrior two. Flipping the palms. Inhale, straighten that left leg, take the arms up. Flip the palms back down. Exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down, holding this position. Inhale through the nose. As we exhale, cartwheeling those hands down, lifting up off your right heel, and then inhale, lifting that left arm, looking up to that left hand. Exhale down, framing your left foot, stepping back into plank. Inhale through the nose as you exhale, either dropping the knees, dropping the chest, or you can hover the body down through your chaturanga, holding onto the floor. Lifting up then into upward dog or cobra. We're opening up through the chest, drop the shoulders away from the body. We're going to tuck those toes under. I'm going to make our way back up into a downward facing dog. And we're going to start to pedal those legs out again. So we're back into our downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lifting that right leg up to the ceiling as we exhale, bending that right knee, squeezing that right heel towards that left glute, working on that right quad. Inhale, straighten the right leg. As we exhale, place that right foot down in between the hands. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into a high lunge. As we exhale, bringing the hands down through heart center. Inhale, lift those arms back up. Now as we exhale, we're going to bring the hands back down through heart center. We're going to drop down onto your left knee. Now from here, we just square the body back up. So when we did the warm up where we were doing the right angles between the hips and the knees, we want the same thing. So a nice right angle here. So we've got that knee stacked over the foot and we've got that left leg straight down. So the left knee is directly underneath the left hip. Untuck that left toe if it's uncomfortable. Bring the hands together at heart center. Now from here, what I want you to do is tuck your tailbone under. It's a very small movement, but as you tuck the tailbone under, you should feel that stretch all the way down that left quad. So we're pushing the tailbone under, lifting up nice and tall. And again, feeling that stretch all the way down that left quad. Take a nice deep breath in. Take those arms back up. As we exhale, bring those hands down. Now frame your right foot. We're going to creep that right foot forwards a little bit. And then we're going to allow the hip to sink down towards the mat. Now, with this, make sure your left leg is nice and straight behind you. So you've got the knee directly behind the hip and the foot directly behind the knee. Now, depending on how you feel in this position, blocks are really helpful. So if you've got something, books or some of those boxes or something, you can put them either side, and just sitting up a little bit taller will help with this position, especially if it's not feeling particularly comfortable on those hips. If you are a little bit more comfortable in this position, feel free to take that foot maybe a little bit forwards. And if you want to add a little bit of weight into this position, you can take the hands up onto that right knee. And again, we're just allowing the hips to sink down. We're dropping the knees away from the body. Now I'm going to keep going with these, so please feel free to just take this as far as you feel comfortable. If it gets uncomfortable on that left knee at any time, just come out of this. Now I'm going to inhale, lift those arms up, and I'm going to bring the arms together. I'm going to slightly lean back, opening up through the chest. And I'm adding the weight now of my upper body to push down onto that left hip. Bringing those arms back up, inhale through the nose, exhale, bringing those hands down, framing that right foot. Inhale, lifting up onto your fingertips. As we exhale, I'm going to square that body off. So again, bringing that left hip so it's stacked over that left knee, and I'm straightening out the right leg as far as I feel comfortable. I'm going to drop the head down towards that right knee or shin. And if you're comfortable here, an option is to lift that toe, so lifting up the right toes, and we're just working on that right hamstring. And we're allowing the head to drop down towards the mat or down towards that right knee or shin. We're going to place that right foot flat. We're going to go back into that lunge, so allowing the hips to sink down. Stay down on the hands if you want to, or if you want to get a little bit deeper into that stretch, take the hands up onto the knees and then lift those arms up. We're looking up to the ceiling, and we're allowing that hip to sink down towards the mat. Taking it back down, framing your right foot, lifting up onto fingertips, inhale through the nose. As you exhale, taking that left hip over the left knee, dropping the head down towards the right knee or shin or the mat, and then flexing that right foot if it's comfortable to do so. Placing that right foot flat, bending back into the right leg. Take those hands down, tuck the left toe under. We're lifting up off your left knee. Keep the left hand where it is. And we're inhaling, taking that right arm up. Exhale, bringing it down. We're going to step back into downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lifting the left leg as we exhale into your split dog. So squeezing that left heel towards that right quad. Inhale, straighten. As we exhale, stepping that left foot down in between your hands. We're going to inhale, lifting up into a high lunge. We're going to exhale, bringing it down through heart center. And again, inhale, lift. As we exhale, bringing the hands down, we're going to drop down onto that right knee, untucking the toes, and then moving the body back. So again, stacking now that right hip over that right knee. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble there. I haven't been on the drink yet, I promise. Okay, so from here, bringing the hands together at heart center, we're squaring the body off. So we've got that left foot directly underneath the left knee and that right knee directly underneath the right hip. Hands together, lifting up nice and tall through the body, and then gently tucking the tailbone under. You should feel that stretch down that right quad. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and then out through the nose. Nice, everybody. We're going to inhale, lifting those arms back up. We're going to exhale, bringing it down, frame that left foot. Walk that left foot forwards a little bit. And we're going to bend into that left leg. So we're really dropping that right hip now down towards the mat. Make sure that right leg is nice and straight behind you. You can keep the hands down onto the mat if you want to. If you've got blocks or anything that you can lift up onto, that's absolutely fine. If you want to take this further, we're going to lift the hands up, placing them onto that left knee. And again, allowing the hips to drop down towards the mat. If you want to go a little bit deeper, adding some weight onto that right hip, taking those arms up. I'm looking up to the ceiling and I'm gently leaning back. I'm really getting a much deeper stretch in this position on that right leg. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, bring the hands down, framing your left foot. Inhale, lifting up onto tiptoes. As we exhale, squaring those hips so that right hip is going directly over that right knee. We're straightening the left leg as far as you feel comfortable, and we're dropping the head down towards that left knee or shin. And the option is to lift that toe on that left foot if you want to. Gently bending back into that left leg. sinking those hips forwards. One more time. We're going to lift back up onto fingertips if you want to. Take the hands onto the knees. Or we're going to inhale, lift those arms back up, allowing the hips to sink down. And again, just take this as far as you feel comfortable. Exhale, bring them down. Lifting up onto your fingertips. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, straightening that left leg as far as you feel comfortable. Dropping the head down towards that left knee or shin. And lifting up the toes on that left foot. Placing that left foot flat. We're going to bend back into that left leg, taking the hands down, tuck the right toes under, lifting up off your right knee, and then inhale, lifting that left arm up. Exhale, framing that left foot. We're going to step back into plank. We're going to inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to hover the body down, and we're going to inhale, lifting into upward dog or cobra. And then we're just going to sink the hips down towards the mat, and we're going to come down onto your mat. So from here, what I want you to do is we're going to start by hugging that left foot in towards the glutes. So take the left hand around. Now, if there's a mobility issue, if you can't quite reach the foot, take your tights or a belt or an actual yoga belt, and then you can just wrap it around the foot if that helps. So if there's a bit of a mobility issue with holding onto the foot, I recommend using something like this. Okay, so from here, take your head down onto the mat. And we're just going to squeeze that heel as close to the glute as you can. Now, for quite a lot of people, they can't really feel any stretch here, especially if the quads aren't particularly tight. What I want you to do now is push your pelvis down into the mat. So we're thrusting into the mat, basically. So just turn the tailbone under and push your hips down into the mat. You should definitely feel a stretch then on that left quad. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale again. Let's stay in this position, pushing those hips down. And then when you're ready, we're going to release that left leg. We're going to swap sides. So reaching now for that right foot, taking the head back down onto your mat. And again, squeezing the heel towards the glute. And we're going to push the hips back down into your mat, working on that right quad. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, pushing those hips a little bit deeper into the mat. And we're keeping that right hand on that right foot. Nice. And then gently release. We're going to tuck the toes back under. We're either going to lift back up into a tabletop, or you can lift back up into a plank, making your way back into a downward facing dog. And we're going to pedal those legs out again. So we're back into our downward facing dog, pedaling those legs off. We're going to inhale, lifting that right leg up. Exhale, bending that right knee, squeezing the heel towards the glute. Inhale, straighten the right leg. As we exhale, looking towards the hands. We're going to place that right foot down in between the hands. And we're going to inhale, lifting back up into your high lunge. And bringing the hands down through heart center. Now we're going to step your left foot in slightly. So stepping that left foot in, we're going to start to straighten that right leg. So we're going to go into your pyramid or diamond pose. So both hips are facing forwards and both feet are facing forwards. We want the feet to be in the same alignment as the hips. So be careful the feet aren't too close together or too wide apart. Now inhale, lifting up through the chest, taking the hands onto the hips. As we exhale, we're gently going to start folding forwards. Now depending on your range, this can be quite difficult. I would definitely recommend either softening this right knee, taking the hands down onto some blocks or books, make sure they're even either side of your leg, and then drop the head down towards that right leg. If you can go down towards the mat, that's absolutely fine, and just allow the head to sink down towards that right knee or shin. Now, first of all, we want to try and get this left leg as straight as possible. That left heel is down, and then you can feel that stretch all the way down that right hamstring. Now, depending on how you feel here, an option to go a little bit deeper is again to try and lift that right foot up off your mat. And the rule of thumb with any sort of yoga stretching is you inhale, maybe even looking forwards, release slightly, and then exhale, try and go a little bit deeper into that stretch. We're going to do that again. We're going to inhale, looking forwards, and then exhale, taking that head back down towards that right knee or shin. Well done, everybody. We're going to bend your right knee. So we're starting to bend that right knee, and we're going to walk your hands
forward. So we're walking the hands forwards, we're bending that right knee. Now please be careful. Keep the right leg bent for now, and we're going to kick your left heel up to the ceiling into your standing split. Now, depending on how you feel here, a bend in the knee is absolutely fine. Just take this as far as you feel comfortable. If you are comfortable, the option is to keep your left hand down. We're going to bend your right leg and we're going to take your right hand to that left foot. Now, this is quite challenging, but it is an almighty stretch on that left quad. We're lifting that left knee as high as you can. Careful you don't fall. I'm going to take that right hand back down, back into standing split. And if you want to, you can walk the hands towards that right foot. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, start slowly bending that left knee into the body. We're going to place that left foot down. We're going to inhale nice and slowly, lifting back up into a Hastasana, a mountain pose, looking up. Exhale down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale wide with those arms all the way back down into a forwards fold. And we're going to step back into a downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lifting that left leg up as we exhale, bending that knee into split dog. Inhale, straightening the left leg. Exhale, placing the left foot down in between your hands. We're going to inhale, lifting back up into a high lunge. Exhale, down through heart center. We're going to straighten that left leg and we're going to step that right foot in. So we've got that right heel down on the floor, both feet facing forwards, hips are facing forwards. We're going to inhale, taking the hands onto the hips, opening up through the chest or the shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, start bending forwards. We're going down towards that left leg. Depending on your range, either taking the hands onto blocks or taking the hands down towards the mat. Try and avoid holding onto the leg. So try and avoid pushing down through this leg. We want to take the weight onto something else. We're trying to push that right heel down first. If it's comfortable to do so, we're going to try and lift those toes on that left foot. And we're dropping the head down towards that left knee or shin. We're going to inhale through the nose, looking forwards. And exhale, sinking that head down towards that left knee or shin. Try and go a little bit deeper each time. We're going to inhale, looking forwards again. And exhale, dropping the head down towards that left knee or shin. I'm going to place that left foot flat. Please be careful. Walk the hands forwards. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend that standing leg and we're going to kick your right heel up to the ceiling. Now, when you're comfortable here, or if you're comfortable here, keep the hands down. You start straightening up that standing leg and we're pushing that right leg up to the ceiling, so standing split. If you want to take this further, we're going to bend that right leg. Keep your right hand down. Move it away from you if you want a little bit more stability. And then take that left hand to your right foot. And we're pushing that right knee up to the ceiling. And we're hugging that right heel towards that left glute. Taking that left hand back down. Kicking the right heel back up. And if you want to, you can walk the hands towards that foot, that standing leg. Inhale through the nose, take the hands forward. Exhale, bending that right knee down, placing it next to the left. We're going to soften the knees. We're going to inhale nice and slowly, coming all the way back up. Oh, I can feel that in my legs. Exhale down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, take those arms wide back into a forwards fold position. And then taking the hands down, we're going to gently rock from side to side. Now you can soften the knees if you want to, and we're dropping the head down. And then keeping the hands down in front of you. Again, soften the knees if you need to. You can either stay up on the fingertips, up on a block, or down on your hands. From here, we're going to inhale. We're going to rock forwards. We're going to lift up those heels. As we exhale, we're going to drop down onto the heels, lifting the toes. Inhale, rocking forwards, lifting the heels. Exhale, dropping back onto those heels, lifting the toes. One more. Inhale, rocking forwards, lifting those heels. And exhale, back, lifting those toes, placing those feet flat, soften the knees. Depending on where you are on your mat, I want you to either walk forwards into a plank or jump back into plank or step back into plank. Inhale through the nose as you exhale, hovering the body down through chaturanga, or drop the knees, drop the chest. We're going to inhale, lifting into upward dog or cobra. And then exhale, make your way back into downward facing dog, pedaling those legs out. So back in our downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lifting that right leg. We're going to exhale, bending the knee into split dog. We're going to inhale, straighten the right leg. As we exhale, we're going to place your right foot on the outside of your right hand this time. I'm going to come down into your lizard pose. Now take the hands to the width of your mat and make sure that right foot is next to that right hand. Now depending on how you feel here, you can gently rock from left to right, or you can push back and forth through that left toe. If you live in a slightly more open body, you can drop down onto the forearms. If it's too much being up in this position, drop that left knee down, untuck the toes on that left foot, and then drop down onto the forearms. To be honest, I personally prefer it down on that left knee anyway. I feel like I get a little bit of a deeper stretch. And I've got my forearms down, so I can gently rock from left to right. I've got a bit more control, and I'm not putting too much pressure through my hands, through my wrists. We're going to come back up onto your hands and we're going to try and bend that left leg. Now the next part is optional. Again, watch that left knee. If it hurts, just keep exactly where you are. We're going to try and bend that left knee. I'm going to lift up and I'm going to take my right hand around to the right hand side. Now if you can't quite reach, again, use tights, use a resistance band or anything like that. Hold on to that foot and we're gently pulling that foot in towards the leg. I'm going to release that left foot down, tucking the left toes under. Okay, from here, be careful. I'm going to place your left heel down onto the floor and we're going to try and lift up into your warrior two. So keeping that right knee stacked over that right foot, we're going to lead with your left arm and we're going to come up into warrior two. Lovely. Straighten the right leg, turn your right foot to the left hand side, take the hands onto the hips. We're going to inhale looking up, opening up through the chest, and then exhale nice and slowly, coming down into a wide leg forwards fold. Now we're going to take the hands down, maybe even shaking out the head. Oh, bless me. You all right, Jasper? Oh, embarrassing. Okay, place the hands down. We're going to inhale looking forwards and then exhale back down. And again, take this as far as you feel comfortable. When you're down here, it may feel comfortable to gently rock the body from left to right. We're going to soften the knees and we're going to inhale nice and slowly, coming all the way back up into a standing position. Taking the hands onto the lower back, inhale, counter stretch. Interlocking the hands this time down the lower back. As we inhale, pull those arms down, looking up. As we exhale, coming into a wide leg forwards fold, bringing those arms forwards. Be careful you don't hit yourself in the face or anyone else around you. We're going to release the hands, taking the hands down onto the floor. Oh, Jasper. So we're in our warrior two with that left foot facing forward. So it's just swap sides. From here, we're going to inhale through the nose. We're going to exhale, cartwheeling those hands down, lifting up off your right heel. And we're going to go into your lizard pose again. So we're going to walk your left foot over to the left-hand side of your mat. Keep that left hand down. And again, take those arms wide, maybe even gently rocking from left to right or pushing back and forth through that right toe. The option is to stay up off that knee, or if you want to come down onto the knee, or if you want to drop down onto the forearms. Try and keep that movement going from left to right. And then lifting back up onto the hands. If that right knee isn't already down, drop it down to the mat. We're going to try and bend that right leg. Hello, darling. And then taking your left hand forwards and around to the left hand side, we're going to try and reach for that right foot. And we're hugging that right heel towards that right glute. Gently going to release, tuck the toes under of that right foot, lifting up off your right knee. And we're going to step back into a plank. Inhale through the nose. As you exhale, drop the knees, drop the chest or hover the body down through chaturanga. Inhale, lifting back up into cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, making your way back into a tabletop position. From here, we're just going to straighten the right leg out behind you. Place the toes at the back of your mat and then we're pushing our head towards that left knee. So we're really working on that right hamstring. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper into this stretch, bring those hands back underneath the shoulders, and then we're going to try and lift that left knee. So we're dropping now the head down towards the left knee, and you feel a little bit more of a stretch in that right hamstring. We're going to take that left knee back down onto your mat, move the left foot out to the left hand side, and then from here, taking the weight into the left hand, left knee, we're going to lift that right arm up overhead. So you should feel that stretch all the way down the right hand side. If you want to go further, we're going to bend your right leg, taking the right hand behind you to the foot or ankle, push the hips forwards, squeeze the heel towards that right glute, and we're looking up to the ceiling. We're going to release that right leg, take the right hand back up, inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, back down onto your mat into tabletop. Take that left leg out behind you, place the toes at the back of your mat, and again, we're pushing the head towards that right knee. If you want to go a little bit deeper, let's try and lift that right knee up off your mat, and we're encouraging that left heel down onto the mat, working on that left hamstring. Take that right knee back down, take that right foot now out to the right hand side, moving your weight into the right hand, right knee, taking that left arm up and over. And then from here, bending that left leg, taking that left hand behind you to the foot or ankle, encouraging that heel towards the glute, rolling that left shoulder back. And we're looking up to the ceiling. We're going to release that left arm back up, inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, back into your tabletop position, and then gently rocking those hips from side to side. And then placing the hands down, we're going to tuck those toes back under, lifting back up into a downward facing dog. Now you can either step, hop, or just sit back down and come back into a seated position. And we're going to just bring the feet through, and we're going to come down into a seated position. Okay, so for the next part, you're going to need your props, so the resistance band or the tights or belt or whatever it is that you decided to use. Again, that's optional. Okay, so we're going to flex those feet. We're going to inhale, take the prop in between the hands, lifting those arms up. This is quite nice actually. If you're using tights, I know we're working on hamstrings and quads. Oh, but that is such a nice stretch. So if you're working at a desk, and I will do one specific for shoulders and backs, especially the lower back, and we'll work on these. But anyway, that's a really nice stretch. A little bit distracted there. So I'm going to inhale. I'm going to walk the hands in a little bit. So I'm going to shorten this. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, keep looking forwards. So thinking about getting your tummy onto your thigh. Reach forwards, tummy onto thigh, take the hands around. So if you're using a resistance band or a belt or tights, take it around the balls of the feet. Keep the feet flexed and then walk the hands in. Elbows out and use it to pull. And the rule of any stretching, the rule of thumb with any stretching, sorry, is as you inhale, gently release. As you exhale, go a little bit deeper into the stretch. We're going to inhale, lifting those arms back up. And one more time, exhale into a forwards fold. Place the bands around the feet. If you live in a slightly more open body and you can take your hands down to the feet, then it's absolutely fine to actually interlock the hands. It's exactly the same thing. And then just encouraging the head down towards the shins or the knee. We're going to inhale, lifting those arms back up. Exhale, taking them behind you, placing those feet down. So we're going to go into a reverse tabletop. So we want the feet stacked underneath, beg your pardon, the feet the same width as those knees, knees the same width as the hips. As we inhale, hands are facing downwards towards your body. We're going to lift up into a tabletop. Now squeeze the glutes, push the hips up as high as you can. Exhale, coming down. Nice. We're going to straighten the left leg. I'm going to bend your right knee. I'm going to face towards you so it makes a bit more sense. So we've got that left leg straight. We've got that right leg bent. So we're placing the right foot on the inner side of your left thigh. So that left leg is straight in front of you. So the option again is to use a resistance if you want to.
So I'm just going to turn slightly, just so you don't have my foot facing you. That's not particularly nice. Okay, we're going to inhale, lifting those arms back up. Exhale, folding towards the straight leg. So going towards that left leg. Take that band around the left foot. Again, keep the foot flexed. We're taking the band around the balls of the feet. Roll the hands in, elbows wide. Pull yourself down towards that left knee or shin. Now again, if you live in a slightly more open body, take the hands around, elbows wide. Aim to get that head down to the floor. Don't just rest the head down on that left knee or shin. Keep the foot flexed. We're going to inhale, looking forwards towards the foot, and exhale back into it. Inhale, nice and slowly sitting back up, and then swapping the legs over, straightening that right leg, bending that left leg this time, placing the left foot on the inner side of that right thigh, sorry. We're facing towards that right leg, right foot is flexed. Inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale, folding forwards, either using your prop or taking the hands around. If you're not using a prop, feel free to take the hands onto the shin. And again, remember what I said about the tummy. Tummy down onto the thigh, then elbows out. Keep going. We're going to inhale, looking forwards. Exhale, back into that stretch. And inhale, lift. Well done, everybody. I'm going to bend the legs. Take the hands behind you. I'm going to have the feet slightly wider than the knees, knees slightly wider than the hips, and just gently rocking the knees from left to right. And then from here, we're just going to make our way back down onto our mats. Okay, we're going to cross the right leg over the left. So we've got that right knee away from you. So this is your figure of four. I'm sure a lot of you have done this before. And then we're going to try and lift up that left foot. Now you should feel it all the way down that right thigh. Take the hands around that left thigh if it's comfortable to do so. Keep pushing that right knee away from you. So you should feel this again in that right hip, in that right thigh. If you want to work more on the hamstrings, especially the left hamstring, straighten that left leg and flex the foot. You can add a stretch with that left hamstring as well. I'm going to bend that left leg, taking it back down onto the mat, swapping the legs over. So place the right foot down, cross the left over the right knee, and then lifting that right knee up, taking the hands around that right thigh. And again, keeping that left knee away from you, hugging that right knee in. Just going to turn around just so you can make sure that you can see the correct positioning. So we're pushing that left knee away and we're hugging that right thigh in. And then from here, we're going to straighten the right leg, flex that right foot, pushing the heel up to the ceiling. And then bending the right leg, placing that foot down onto the floor. And then from here, hugging both knees into the chest, take those knees apart, gently rocking from left to right. We're going to keep the right leg hugged in, and we're going to straighten that left leg down onto your mat. So hugging that left knee into the chest. And then from here, we're going to straighten that right leg up. Take the hands around the right thigh. You can either keep them here, flex that foot, pushing the heel up, or if you live in a slightly more open body, walk the hands up, keep that foot flexed, and the option is to lift the head up. And we're just encouraging that right leg down. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, try and go a little bit deeper into that stretch. Keep those elbows wide. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, coming back down onto your mat, hugging that right knee into the chest. And then straightening that right leg back down onto your mat. Hugging the left knee in this time. Taking the hands on top of that left knee. Straightening that left leg up to the ceiling, taking the hands behind the left thigh, or walking them up to that left ankle, flex the foot, push the heel up. And the option to go a little bit deeper into that is elbows wide. We're lifting the head up off your mat, inhaling through the nose and
exhale, try and pull that leg a little bit further towards you. Inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, coming back down, hugging that left knee back into the chest. And then bringing the right knee in to join it. We're going to flex both feet and we're going to kick the heels up to the ceiling. So in this, we're just stacking the feet on top of the knees, knees on top of the hips. The mat is driving me mad. So you should really feel that stretch all the way down the back of the legs, all the way up to those heels. And then gently bending, taking the knees apart, taking the hands on top of the knees. And we're gently rocking from left to right. And then from here, just bring the knees together. I'm going to place the feet flat down onto your mat. Taking the arms to the side of the body. Take the feet apart a little bit and then gently rocking the knees from left to right. And then slowly straightening the legs down on your mat. You can open the legs if you want to, allow the feet to drop open. I'm going to take the arms up overhead. Just into a nice full body stretch, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And again, in through the nose. Out through the nose. On your next inhale, I'm going to try and create as much tension in the body as you can by clenching the hands, the face, the glutes, the thighs, anything you can. If you can, try and get those feet up off the mat. That's absolutely fine. You can lift those arms as well. Inhale through the nose, create as much tension through the body. We're going to hold it. And breathe out and release. And again, inhaling through the nose, creating as much tension in the body as you can. We're going to hold it and release. Well done, everybody. Okay, maybe gently rocking those hips from left to right. Bring the arms down the side of the body, palms facing down. And when you're ready, bringing both knees back in towards the chest, hugging the knees in tightly. Gently rocking from left to right. And then we're going to roll onto either your left hand side or your right hand side into your fetus pose. And when you're ready, we're going to come up into a seated position. Crossing the legs if you're comfortable to do so. Taking the hands out towards the knees, forefinger and thumb together, either the palms lifted or the palms facing down. Keep the eyes closed if you want to. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. We're going to exhale through the mouth. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, bring the hands together at heart center. And as we exhale, gently bowing forwards to one another. Namaste, everybody.